Hi everyone. So first of all, I want to thank you for purchasing the Blooming Rose pattern and supporting me. I am so glad you like it and I hope you love sewing it. So I'm just going to describe a couple of features that it's got. It's got a front panel and there's actually 4 different front panel options. So you've got the patchwork front panel, or the reverse applique one, the plain front panel, so you can use a patterned vinyl for it, or you can do quilting, anything you like, HTV applique, doesn't matter, it's up to you. And there's another front panel that is just a quilted rose. So I'm giving you a template and instructions on how to do it, but also it is the one that allows you to actually be very creative. So I give you instructions on how to try your own skills in, well, painting it with your machine. So what I came up with was this as well. This is what I did without any template, just using my instructions. Okay, so this is front panel option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. Okay, other than that, it's got an adjustable crossbody strap, a back magnetic pocket, and actually what's so fun about it, if you don't want your pocket to be outside, you can just do it on the inside, just the same way, but instead of attaching it to the exterior, you can attach it to the lining piece, and you may just use double the lining instead of the exterior. And then you've got like a reinforced strap here, so the lower strap is here, and this is how it's connected to your bag. Okay, it actually reduces the bulk that was in this seam. If you put the strap here, there would be a bulk in the seam, and that reduces it. And I've got a double zip full in this pattern just because it's easier to open it up like this. It's quite roomy. The bag is roomy. There's no binding, if you can see it. No binding. It's very roomy. There's no pockets inside because it's quite a lengthy sew, but you may add as many as you wish. I might add some in the add-on later on, but that's to be confirmed if there's going to be one anytime soon. But yeah, this is what it looks like inside. No binding. I've used a contrasting thread to close the interior, but if you use thread as the color of your lining, then it's not even going to be visible. Just like that. Okay, and that's it. The first time might take you longer to make it, but all the other times, the next times, it's going to get easier and easier. After my 4th one, it took me 20 minutes to sew one, but without the front panel, of course. The front panel takes some time as well, but yeah, if you do the plain option, it can take around half an hour to make it, so it's not so bad. You just need to first familiarize yourself with sewing it, and then it's quite easy. Thank you. These are the tools I'm going to be using: a hole punch, a rivet press with rivet dies, ruler, erasable pen, seam roller, duct tape, double-sided tape, some scissors or an X-Acto knife, and of course some clips. This pattern doesn't require a lot of hardware. You need a 15-inch zipper with double pulls, and your strap adjuster. You need your rectangular rings. If you're using the rings instead of those, remember to also use swivel clasps for the upper strap. Okay, you will need some strap ends. I am a fan of strap ends. I love them. This is my favorite way of what to do with the bag, but if you want to finish your strap any other way, do it. There's lots of tutorials, and you're going to need a magnetic snap closure for your pocket. So this is a male part and a female part. Male, female. And that's it. So the stabilizers that you need is 1 for your gasket, 2 for your zipper panels, and 2 for your front and back panels. So for the lining, you need 2 zipper panels, 1 gasket, 2 panels front and back, and lining for your magnetic pocket. So what you need in exterior is 1 magnetic pocket, 1 back panel, front panel, upper strap, lower strap, gasket, and 2 zipper panels. If you're using directional fabric, it's important to mark the top and bottom, and what I advise you to do is to mark the centers of each side of your pieces except for the straps. It helps later on. And also I advise you to draw the seam allowance on the back of all your pieces except for the straps, but it's not necessary, especially if you're using stabilizer. A stabilizer is going to show you where your seam allowance is as you attach it centered, but the important part is to remember to draw the seam allowance on your lining pieces, as this will help you sew them together, and also it will help you guide you to close the lining better after turning the bag. But it's just recommended. If you don't feel like you need to do it, I don't do it. I don't need to do it, so you don't have to either. It's just something I advise of. Let's fuse the stabilizer to exterior pieces. Always check if your fabric on the scrap, if your fabric is good with touching a hot iron. So for me, my fabric is fine. I don't need to put anything in between. Just going to fuse this using my iron. Let's begin with making the strap. So place your strap wrong side up and draw a line lengthwise from one short edge to the other short edge, and the line needs to be centered. Okay, once that's done, you need to take your double-sided tape, and you may either do one of these. You can add the tape on each side of the line, or I've got this wider tape, I attach it on top of the line. It's just easier for me. If you have a seam roller, it's good to roll it over the tape to make it adhere better and stick better. So after that's done, you take the backing of the tape, fold one edge and the other, onto the tape to the line. Okay, so one long edge and the other long edge together like this. So right now there's two things you can do, because we need to fold the strap in half one more time. So what we need to do is you may add some double-sided tape here, but not too close to the edge, so it doesn't gum up your seam and your needle. Okay, so just add your double-sided tape like here, but I'm not doing that. I'm just folding as I go. Okay, so sew around your upper strap using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and after that's done, take your lower strap. With your lower strap, it's the same. Put it wrong side up, draw a line in the center, or if you feel like you don't need to, just like I'm doing, just add some tape in the center. Right. Unfold the tape. So what's different about this strap is you actually only fold it once and then top stitch it using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, after your lower strap is top stitched, take your exterior gusset, put it right side up. Okay, take your exterior gusset and put it right side up. Now take your erasable pen and draw a line down the center of this gusset, so it should be 2 inches away from each long edge. Okay, so measure 2 inches and draw a line. Measure 2 inches. Remember to make this line erasable. Okay, now add some double-sided tape onto now what you can do is to mark 1.5 inch away from this short edge. Just make a little mark 1.5 inch away, and just a small mark. Okay, and add double-sided tape between those marks onto the line. Okay, like this. You can roll it. Take the backing of the tape and add your strap centered like this, and now take your ruler and measure 1.5 inches away from the short edge again, but this time onto the strap. So mark a line onto the strap. That's 1.5 inches away, and top stitch the strap to attach it to the gusset with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, but don't go past those lines. So just go here, 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 and here. Okay, so this is what you should have right now. Okay, so now shorten the strap so it goes 2 inches away from this stitched line. So what I'm going to do is just mark the 2 inches over here on the strap. Okay, 2 inches on the strap, and then I'm going to actually sew a line here and here. Once that is done, I'm going to cut just behind the stitch line. Just be careful not to go past these stitches. careful not to go past this stitch line that you just made, okay? And so make a mark centered 1/2 inch away, and 1 3/4 inches away from the sewn line. Okay, right here, 1/2 inch away, so around here, on 1 3/4 it's going to be around here. Okay, and now what I like to do is to pop this to the wrong side, and we need to also mark 1/2 inch away. We need to mark 1/2 inch away on the gusset side. So I just like to find the center of this line and mark it here. And on the other side, find the center, and 1/2 inch away will be right here. Now we've got to punch holes where the marks are. Just gonna start with this one. Oops. And just make sure you don't punch through these stitches. If they are too close to each other, I'm going to just do it different way so I don't go past the stitches. Okay, take your D-rings, or take your rectangle rings, put them onto here. Okay, so feed one rectangle ring through your strap, okay, and fold the strap back down like this. Find your rivets. Okay, so feed your strap through the D-ring, feed your strap through the rectangular ring, and then fold it back like this under. Take your rivet and put it through. It should go through all the layers. So this one, and here. Okay, like this. Oops. And do the same on the other side. So feed it through, fold it back under, move your D-ring out of the way, get a rivet, and bam, 1, 2, 3 layers. Oops. Okay, now set your rivets. Oops. Now set your rivets. And here. Okay. This is what you should have right now. Okay, and boom, boom. Okay, that's perfect. Back magnetic pocket. What you need is your exterior piece E and your lining piece E, okay? And then a male part and a male part of your magnetic snap, okay? So you put these pieces right sides together. We need to sew them together along the top edge using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And the important thing here is so that the layers don't move. So if you feel like you don't feel comfortable and you think they might shift or move, you can clip this edge, okay, so that the layers don't move. I don't do that. Okay, now that they've been sewn together, we can open the seam like this and go to the wrong side like that. So we need to attach the magnetic snap centered. So you need a ruler. You need a ruler and a pen and this seam. So we need to make a mark centered and 1 inch down this stitch line, the joining seam. Okay, so this is around 9.5 inches, so we need to divide it by 2, so it's 475. So this should be, the snap should be around here. Then take your washer, pop it here and mark these on your lining, okay, on your back, on the wrong side of your lining. And then I just cut little snips here and turn to the right side, attach, install this, add the washer like this. And what I do also, this is what you need the duct tape for. Take a piece or two of duct tape and cover the prongs to, first of all, to reinforce and keep this from coming out. And the other reason is the prongs might be popping out through your fabric, and after a long use they might actually make punch holes in your fabric. Okay, so just like that. And now turn these wrong sides together like this and roll the seam in your fingers. Like this. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable sewing it together, you don't feel like it's going to be easy to top stitch the top edge, you might once again just clip the bottom edge together. I'm just going to use a little seam roller, and now we need to top stitch along this edge. Okay, this is what we've got now. And now I need my back panel, and I'm going to attach this here, the pocket here, and make an indentation. So press hard. Yeah, it's over here, so I'm just going to draw a mark, just a little dot here. Then I'm going to add my washer here to mark the placement of my other part of the magnetic snip these holes. Oops. And oops. And add those. Like this. Add the washer, prongs, and then duct tape. And one more. Okay. Now what I do is just attach the snaps together and top stitch around the bottom edge. So again, if you're worried about shifting the layers shifting, what you can do is just clip around this edge and then baste this together. So just baste them together. Remember to keep this basting out of the seam allowance. Okay, that's it. That's my back panel and my back pocket done. Now you can turn it to the wrong side, and if you see any pieces of your pocket coming out, just overhang, just cut it. Okay, all right, now put this aside. Let's make the zipper panel. To do that, we need 2 zipper panel pieces of your exterior and 2 zipper panel pieces of your lining, as well as your zipper with double pulls attached. Okay, so zipper with double pulls attached. And first what I'm going to do is take one of the exterior zipper panels and my zipper. I'm going to baste the zipper to my exterior zipper panel. Okay, right sides together. Okay, once that is done, I'm going to take my lining zipper panel and attach it to this so that the exterior and lining pieces are right sides together, and look here, they need to match. Okay, like this. And now we're going to sew these together using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so these are connected now, and I'm going to unfold these so that they are wrong sides together. So the zipper panel exterior and linings are wrong sides together, touching each other. Okay, pull them away from the zipper like this. And what you can do, you may, if you're afraid, the same as always, of layers shifting and fabric moving, clip around these edges. But if not, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to top stitch next to the zipper. Okay, that's top stitched, and now we need to repeat these steps for the other side. So that's top stitched on both sides. If they are a little bit uneven, I just cut them to be more even. It doesn't matter if it's just a little bit, but it's more than just a little bit. I like to do that. Okay, so this is it. The next step is to attach the gussets to the zipper panels. Okay, so what we need to do is to take the lining gusset and the assembled zipper panel, lining gusset right side up, and assembled zipper panel on top of it, so that the linings are right sides together. Okay, so the lining of the zipper panel and the lining of the gusset are right sides together. Now we need to clip away the exterior piece of the zipper panel, just like this, on both sides, and clip the lining edges together on both sides, on both short edges. Okay, and now take this to your machine and sew here and here within the seam allowance as far as you can until the zipper. What we need now is to get the exterior gusset, okay, and unclip these and do the same, but now with the exterior. So we press the zipper panel on top of the gusset, but this time exterior to exterior, and we clip away the lining. Oops, just like that. Okay, clip the edges together. Remember that while you're sewing it, to make sure your rectangle ring tab doesn't get caught in your stitch. That's what you should have at the moment. Okay, now we need to sew for all the layers together, but only where the zipper is. Okay, so around. Now fold your panels like that and open them up like this. And now we need to top stitch this seam onto the gusset. Okay, so what we want to do is to fold this seam under here and top stitch here. Okay, just over here, but we don't want to catch this in the seam. So what we need to do, we don't want to catch the lining in the seam. So what we need to do, I don't pin it or anything, I just fold it down a little bit. Okay, just like this, and then fold the seam over here and open like that. Remember to catch this, fold this away so it doesn't get caught. Just turn it over to the wrong side, and if your lining is doing this, what I usually do is just cut little notches within the seam allowance so that the fabric doesn't get wrinkled and folded. So it looks much better after unfolding it. And do the same on the other side. So move these out of the way, fold the seam and top stitch. And that's what you should have right now. Oh, yes. what you need to do now is to expose the lining, and even before that, what you can do is to cut little notches. Okay, what you can do first is to cut little notches in your gasket and lining panels, both exterior and interior. So that it's easier to attach the front and back panels. Okay, now to expose the lining, take one of your interior panels and start attaching it to your panels. If you're using directional fabric, it's good to have the top, bottom, the sides and centers marked, but I'm not using any directional fabrics. I'm just going to clip it along the way just as much as I need to. That's going to be the best, I think. So around using around using half of an inch seam allowance. Same for the other side, but this time leave a turning gap. Don't forget to leave a turning gap in one of your lining panels. Wiggle around so that you can find this other side of your lining gasket, other edges exposed, and voila. Okay, and take your other panel, lining panel, and start do exactly the same, but leave the gap for turning in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is to leave the gap first. So I'm going to start attaching them right here, even here, and here, just to not forget to leave the opening. And now let's just go. Okay, after clipping them together, make sure you've got the gap at the bottom and it's quite large, especially if your bag is sturdy and stiff. Okay, and do the same, so around, so along these edges, using 1/2 of an inch seam allowance. Now we need to repeat the almost exactly the same process, but this time with exterior. So expose the edges just like that of your exterior panel. Okay, and find the bottom and the top, and also find, you can locate your bottom and top centers to match your panels better to the gasset, so that the top stays on top and the bottom stays on the bottom. Okay. Oops. And so yeah, doing this one first, just exposing the right edge over here. Okay, so top and top. While I'm doing this is if the back pocket is centered. Here I can see it's not really, so I'm just not going to continue down this road. I'm going to try and align the seams. And so, and with the exterior, what I recommend is to sew at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance at first, and then when the layers stopped moving, do another round, but this time with an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now we need to have the other edge exposed, so like this one. So we're going to have to fold this a little bit like that. Okay, just wiggle a little bit, but it's worth it. And do exactly the same. Okay. Take your panel, clip it around, and so on. Okay, so now it's time to turn your bag inside out. So just do it slowly and carefully through the gap you've left. Just slowly so you don't break or damage anything. Okay. And let's have a look if it is a circle. So put your hand through the gap. Okay, and push the seams out like this. Just push them out like that. And now what the next step is to close the gap. Okay, so what I do, just unfold it a little bit like that. Okay, and I take the gap, and you should have a line drawn here. Add a little tape onto the line, and then you may just fold it like this. And I actually fold it while I sew. Okay, so fold and sew to close the gap. And what's left is the strap. Feed one end of your strap through your rectangular ring and then through your tri-glide from underneath and here over the center bar. Now make a little dot around here. Oops. And punch the hole. Punch the hole. Through and through, okay, through all the layers. And add a rivet. Here and here. Okay, then set your rivet. Then take the other end of your strap, make sure it's straight, and pop it through here, over, through here, and just through the other rectangular ring. Let's do the same. Make a little dot, punch through all layers, add a rivet. Okay, so add a rivet. Oops. Add the rivet, set the rivet, then install your strap ends. And ta-da, this is your strap and this is your bag. Okay, thanks for watching and enjoy making it.